Guy reporter.
Eddie Guy here, your only source for the drive time traffic hour.
That is, unless you drive with a TomTom GPS.
From high above in the chopper. Wait, what?
Yes, with its IQ roots technology, TomTom is the only GPS that knows when and where traffic and automatically finds you the fastest way around it. No more traffic, so no more Eddie.
Eddie Guy here, no longer your only source for the drive time traffic.
TomTom, go confidently.
We were overwhelmed. So Star Electronics' big brand event must return this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've restocked the biggest brands in TVs and audio systems at prices absolutely no one can meet. Only Star offers Panasonic Viera at the lowest price. Panasonic, the world leader in plasma, and only Star gets you free delivery and setup, plus a price guarantee until January 2010. For the lowest prices on the biggest brands, including Panasonic Viera, this Friday till midnight, Saturday and Sunday. Only at Star Electronics on the Queensway, just east of Islington.
Many people think an American Express card is not for buying life's everyday things. They couldn't be more wrong. You see, you can buy milk for your morning cereal, supplies you need for dinner, or snacks for all the fun stuff you do in between. Soon, you could have earned enough points for a reward that isn't something you treat yourself to every day. American Express is welcomed at all kinds of supermarkets. American Express, realize the potential.
David?
Yeah?
Can we talk about that university application?
It doesn't matter. I'm just going to take calls.
Is your child applying to university or college? Seize the moment with Career Sherpa, the online assessment that helps young people select their ideal career path and education. Developed over 30 years by global leaders in corporate psychometrics, the Sherpa goes way beyond your guidance counselor, providing practical detailing you never thought possible. Sherpa.ca.
No one's ever accused him of being shy. This is Charles Addison with guest host Roy Green on the Chorus Radio Network.
And you can email to roy.green@chorussense.com, which people are already doing, and saying thanks for having Lord Christopher Winton back on the program. Lord Christopher is a regular guest on my weekend program on the Chorus Radio Network and is one of the most outspoken challengers of Al Gore and the IPCC and their global warming alarmism in the world. And he joins us from Copenhagen. By the way, the phone number is 1-800-665-2202, 1-800-665-2202. And throughout this half hour, I'll be taking the odd phone call from you with a question from you for Lord Christopher. So call us now at 1-800-665-2202 if you have a question for Lord Christopher Munson. Christopher, how are you?
Roy, it's very good to be with you again, and a pleasure to be with you midweek for once.
Well, it is. And tell us, please, how are you, this is what I want to know, how are you being received by the assembled masses in Copenhagen?
Well, I'm about as popular as Churchill at a Nuremberg rally, I think. There's not much of a welcome for those of us who have come off the Kool-Aid and no longer believe in man-made global warming being a global crisis. This is the meeting of the Church of Al Gore and global warming. We've had him here today, his usual litany of catastrophes and lies. And what is interesting is that some of the media, thanks to the ClimateGate emails where the scientists have been revealed right across the world to be making up and suppressing data, that has woken some of the media up, even the mainstream media, to the fact that the storyline is not quite as they had thought it was. And so when Al Gore told a particularly stupid lie about the sea ice in the Arctic would disappear altogether in the next 3 or 4 years, the press went after him for it and said that is unacceptable. So he is now a busted flush. And, of course, we now have world leaders who haven't yet caught up with the latest science, all turning up here and saying the planet must be saved and they are here personally to save it. The talks are in pretty much the state of organized deadlock that you expect at this stage. As you know, this is really all street theatre. Everything that's going to be decided has been decided long before this conference even began. And they go through this pantomime every time, where first of all you have a leaked document by the Secretariat. We had that last week. Then you get delegations walking out. We had that at the beginning of this week. Then you have riots and demonstrations with the police laying into the demonstrators in a way which made me very worried about whether Denmark still understands what democracy is all about. And then we're going next into the all-night session right at the end of the conference. They haven't announced there's going to be one yet, but you heard it here first. This is how the script usually runs. And then you will find all the world leaders and President Obama tottering out of the meeting on Saturday morning, having done their all-nighter, with the stubble on their chins and their wan smiles on their faces, saying, we've done it, we've reached agreement. But the agreement they will reach will certainly be a great deal more limited than the enormous world government treaty with the UN dominating the world economy, controlling all formerly free markets, all the extraordinary things that were in the original draft. It is being whittled down piece by piece. The one thing that hasn't yet disappeared, unfortunately, is the enormous number of new interlocking bureaucracies that will compose this world government. They're no longer calling it a government, but they are going to try to get from the nations of the West the very large fortune from taxpayers that it's going to take to administer this entire new centralized bureaucratic nonsense that they're trying to create here in Copenhagen. And all of this, just as the Gore effect, comes into play yet again. As soon as he arrived and started speaking, the first snow began to fall on Copenhagen, and this evening I can tell you it's blanketed very heavily in very cold, very thick snow.
Well, Christopher, you have a sense.
Have a sense of humor.
You have a sense of how cold it has been in Western Canada and how much snow we have experienced in this country in the east. Now, the Canadian Taxpayers Federation is reporting today that you've obtained a working copy of the draft agreement at the Copenhagen Conference, which is going to reveal plans for a massive transfer of wealth out of this country. So let's be specific to Canada. They're saying 2% tax on GDP, which would cost the Canadian economy $26 billion, or more than $3,000 per Canadian in increased after-tax cost of living. And the Taxpayers Federation says Alberta would bear 42% of this massive financial burden, while Ontario would have to absorb 26%.
It is terrifying how expensive it's all going to be. And that is only part of the revenue-raising power that this new world government is going to have. It's going to be 2% of the GDP of all rich countries such as Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. But it's also going to have the power to raise a 2% levy on